The best-selling and very popular Honda City has sold over 850,000 units in India over 5 generations since 1998. It remains the benchmark in the compact sedan space, and that benchmark is set to grow. Meet the Honda City HEV or hybrid electric vehicle. India finally gets the hybrid variant of the City, which was introduced on the last generation in markets like Japan and Southeast Asia. This variant also drives in Honda's sensing, safety and driver-assistive system, which is Honda's ADAS, a first for the compact sedan segment. More on that later.
Look at this car from a distance and it looks like the regular City. On the one hand, that's a good thing because you don't really want it to be weird or very different. But on the other, if I am a hybrid buyer, I might want people to know that I have the hybrid from a mile. And it's a little disappointing that Honda chose not to even bring a signature paint color exclusively for this variant. That could have been nice. There's a lovely blue. I, of course, have to talk about that. But speaking of blue, you do get a little bit of blue in the badge, and that's typical of most Japanese manufacturers. When it's a hybrid or an electric, any kind of electrified variant usually gets a little blue highlight in the badging, so up front and at the back. This section of the grille is also new and different to the regular City. The rest of that, the big fat chrome up here, it's in line with Honda's global design language and of course the City itself. The LED array headlights, again, the regular City ZX or ZX, that gets it as well. The housing for the fog lamp though is different, and so that is one thing that will sort of stand out as being different. You've also got a different pattern on the alloy wheels and then a few changes at the back. But before I get to that, a quick point that I want to make. Now Honda could have chosen to give this car a slightly edgier look by maybe having a blacked out front grille. Instead of two-tone, just black alloy wheels and maybe body colored or, dare I say, black door handles. I have never been a fan of these chrome handles, but that comes with the ZX trim, and that's something that they assume everybody in India wants. At the back though, you have this little bit of a lip spoiler on the boot. That is new to this variant. The EHEV badging, which tells you that this is a hybrid. The E again has the little hint of blue, and then you've got this diffuser finished off in a carbon fiber finish at the back. That's it. Those are the differences. So yeah, subtle differences. If you look closely, you'll spot them, but otherwise looks pretty much like the top-end City.
This is the ZX variant of the City, which is the top end. So you get a fully loaded car. But there are subtle differences on the EHEV variant. The dual-tone ivory and black theme is new, and the seats maintain their well-bolstered, comfy feel. Also new is the 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system, compatible with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. But graphics and interface remain an Achilles heel for the Japanese manufacturers. The screen also houses the display for a 360-degree camera view, but the pixelated and poor resolution output is a letdown. Apart from this, there's automatic climate control with 3 rotary switches, USB slots, a 12-volt charging socket, sunroof, and even smart utility spaces, and one that's large enough to fit a smartphone. The Honda City EHEV misses out on wireless charging, wireless Apple CarPlay, as well as wireless Android Auto and ventilated seats.
So lots of different drive modes to take you through, and these are not modes that you're adjusting. The car is doing that on its own. That's the whole point of this 2-motor system. Now, when you just start moving, when you start the car and start to actually move away, it's pure EV, and you get that little nice hum, aircraft-like, which is nice. It's silent, it's very smooth, and like a lot of hybrids. So good to have, and it gives you that nice sense of driving an electric car. Well, as you start to go a little bit faster, that's when it goes into hybrid mode, and that is when the engine also kicks in with, there you go, you can hear the engine coming on. It's a little aggressive sounding, which I don't like, but the reason that's happening is not because I am accelerating a lot, it's because the engine is actually kicking in to provide power back into the battery so that it doesn't deplete. The car is still driving on hybrid mode, which means it's the battery that's sending power to the motor, and it's the motor that's driving the car. It's still not the engine that is sending that power to the wheels directly. But as you start to accelerate more and you get to cruising speeds, well, that's where you go into just hybrid mode. You're not really going into pure EV anymore. So pure EV mode kicks in and out when you're in relatively slow speed traffic, so pretty much city driving. But cruising along, you get hybrid mode. Both things work in conjunction. But remember again, the petrol engine is just doing the job of helping to have enough power in the battery so that the motor can drive the car. But when you get to high-speed cruising, highway driving and such, well, that's where you go into engine drive mode. So that's the only time when the engine is directly sending power to the wheels. And at that point, the battery kicks in, or the electric power kicks in, to provide you a little extra boost when needed. Ooh, lots of different things to explain, but it was important to tell you these different drive modes, because that is, after all, the whole USP and the whole point of the hybrid.
The digital instrument cluster is hybrid specific and well executed.
Virtual cluster is nice and neat, and it's got a little added advantage or a little edge over the regular Honda City's cluster, and that's because you get on the left side a few extra functions. So you can control all of that from here on the wheel. You got power and charge, which just shows you how you're driving and whether you're regenerating power or using up a lot of engine power. You got Eco Drive, which generally gives you a sense of how efficiently you're driving, and of course your real-time mileage. You continue to scroll down, you got power flow. Now, when you're new to a hybrid, you kind of want to see, hey, am I on pure EV power? Is the engine kicking in and providing power back to the battery? The different drive modes we spoke about. So you see a nice graphical representation of that, which is real time. It's kind of fun. And then you've got the range and fuel. So you kind of know how far you can go, how much fuel you have left, of course, and the kind of average you're getting on your entire trip. Finally, fuel economy, which again goads you into driving a little bit better, your different driving sessions, how you've done, and kind of monitors your progress. You can put on the econ mode, like I said earlier, to enhance all of that.
Our test car came with a full tank of gas and showed about 700 kilometers of range, while the real-time fuel efficiency was close to the 20 kilometers per liter mark, thanks to some heavy-footed driving. But I believe that can be increased to the claimed 26.5 kilometers per liter quite easily by driving more efficiently. The City EHEV is the most fuel-efficient compact sedan in the market, besting the likes of the Maruti Suzuki Ciaz, Skoda Slavia and Hyundai Verna, and that's across both fuel types, mind you. The City Hybrid is also now the most powerful offering in the segment.
Now, all of this talk about the different drive modes is all very well. How does the car drive? That's the part you really want to know. Well, you drive it nicely, you put on the econ mode and the car will give you good mileage. Of course, that means more range. And if you drive it exceedingly well, you can get pretty far on a single tank of gas. The whole point though is that you don't always have to drive like that, because compared to the regular petrol City, this is more powerful. The combined output is over 120 horses. So you get that little extra sense of power when you're driving. I have to say it's not very different to drive, but the silent EV mode is what's really pleasurable and fun. The car really cruises well. Its handling and steering have been pretty good on this generation anyway, and I like that. I like that about it. In terms of mileage, well, that's where you get the big advantage, isn't it?
The part that gets my attention is also all of that ample torque. Having a battery on board gives you plenty of grunt, and that's evident, especially in high-speed driving. The eCVT also works well, though paddle shifters to control kickdown would have been better for me. Safety gets a huge leg up on the City Hybrid. It has everything from 6 airbags to ISOFIX child seat anchors, 3-point seat belts for all passengers, to stability and traction control, and anti-lock brakes with electronic brake force distribution. All of this is standard. The car also gets tire pressure monitoring and hill start assist. But that is not all.
Advanced driver assistance systems, or ADAS, more and more manufacturers are bringing that into India, and I couldn't be more pleased because, of course, it's great to enhance safety when you're driving. Honda has brought in level 2 with this car for the first time, and you get a bunch of features with it. It's called Honda Sensing, this whole suite of ADAS features, and you get a whole lot of things. So you've got things that you can go in and switch on and off using that same menu that I was talking about earlier. So you've got a collision mitigation system, which is automatic emergency braking, and that of course alerts you both from the point of view of a visual as well as a beeping sound, and then of course it will apply the brake in case you don't step in. You've also got the road departure mitigation, which is basically your run off road feature, where the car will not let you swerve off the road, or it will again alert you, or there will be an intervention. Similarly, the same system helps you to also keep within your lane and drive within your lane. And Honda says that even lane markings that have been faded or sort of partly rubbed off, it will still recognize a lot of that. You get advanced cruise control as well, which is something that kind of goes as part of all of these packages. I'm of course talking about adaptive cruise control. And besides all of that, you've also got the auto headlamps. So when you're driving with a high beam, dark road at night, if the car senses another vehicle approaching, it will automatically dip the high beam. And then once that vehicle has passed, high beam back on again. So automatic lights as well as the high beam part of it, which is nice. It's always nice to have these things. And now the part that of course that I mentioned to you earlier, which has got me excited, is to see that all of this will soon come into the entire portfolio.
Honda also traditionally offered good levels of crash safety, and the company says its internal tests show a healthy 5-star crash rating. The City Hybrid does have a 5-star rating from ASEAN NCAP, but we have no global NCAP score for the Made in India hybrid model. Given the top spec ZX CVT petrol is priced at 15,03,000 rupees ex-showroom, I reckon Honda will offer the hybrid variant at around 17 or 18 lakh rupees, so that the on-road price doesn't go beyond 20 lakh rupees. I am really glad that Honda finally chose to bring the Hybrid City to us. The car is a potential game changer, and if early indications are anything to go by, it is already raking in substantial bookings for Honda. Pricing could be tricky since the 2-motor kit comes in from Japan. But I do hope global supplies and allocations will allow Honda to subsequently also offer the hybrid in the V or VX variant. But for now, the ZX is all we get, and I hope Honda plays big on volumes with this hybrid.